The Launch Club can confirm that new changes have come into effect in UK immigration. These changes only started yesterday. The Launch Club is bringing you the latest update. These are changes that started yesterday. So if you know anyone who lives in the United Kingdom who doesn't have British passport, whether you're a student, you're on skilled worker visa, or you're planning to visit the UK on a visiting visa, or you're coming on a student, this update is a must for you. As you can see, it was only released last night. These changes came into effect, and it's going to have a far-reaching impact on those that wish to come and stay and work in the UK. We have now break up all the updates, and we're going to go through one by one to explain how this new policy is going to affect people from our community. Good afternoon. Frank is my name. The Launch Club is where you will hear the latest updates on immigration and diaspora news. We are bringing this update because we believe that knowledge is power. Frank is my name. Let me not waste your time. Let's go through the update. The UK government has launched this update because they said that this is their policy to make sure that everyone in the UK is going to be affected by this. So what does this change mean for people from minority community? Number one, from the 11th of November, which is yesterday, new rule increases. Anyone planning to come and study in the UK from today, student that is planning to study in London, you must prove that you have £1,529 a month for 9 months. You must prove, if you're coming to study inside London, you must prove to the government that you have the means to sustain yourself, £1,529 a month. And for those planning to study outside London, you will have to show to the government that for 9 months, you have £1,171 a month for 9 months. Applicant must show the bank statement confirming they had this money in their bank for 28 days consecutively. So for inside London, 1,529, and for those planning outside London to study is 1,171, and you must show that you have the money in your bank account for 28 days. These changes means that student needs to have stronger financial proof and must prepare their document carefully to avoid refusal. What is your view? The second rule that the government has said from yesterday, the government has introduced what they now call visa applicant with criminal record. Anyone that lives in the UK, who is living in the UK, whether you're on spouse, any visa that you're on, the moment you serve 12 months in prison, you will not be able to renew your visa. That is the law from yesterday. The previous rules that allowed some people with older or shorter sentences to reapply, the government has now removed it. In the past, even if you've gone to jail for 3 years, you still be able to reapply, but the government now said 12 months, you are out. The Home Office will also refuse visa for those seen as persistent offenders. Those who cannot stay without getting into trouble, the Home Office will refuse you. And they have now introduced what they call suitability rule, which allows case officers to deny application for reasons like overstay, breaking immigration rule condition, illegal entry, and using false information. That's what they now call suitability rule. That is a new rule that the government has also just introduced. They didn't have that before. What is your view? Are you excited or are you anxious about this? And the government has also introduced new changes yesterday. This time around is for those on seasonal workers. Starting from yesterday, new rule makes it easier for those that want to work in the farm to return to the UK. And what this rule basically means that seasonal workers can now work up to 6 months within 10 months period in the UK. Previously, the limit was 6 months, but the government has now changed it, which means that those that wants to work in the farm, they'll be able to work in the farm for a longer period. This change reduces the cooling off period, giving farmers and workers more flexibility to return for different crop season. Seasonal workers visa scheme has been extended until the end of 2029 in a bid to help provide long-term certainty for the agricultural sector, because a lot of farmers are complaining to the government that this new rule, the rule that we had before, it is making it hard for us to work. And the government has said they've also introduced what they call safeguarding rules for those who live in the UK and you have family. If there is evidence that your conduct poses a risk to anyone, say for instance you're married and there's been allegation against you that your behavior poses a risk to your wife or your family, the government now introduced what they call the new safeguarding rule, which will allow case workers to refuse visa to those that the government deemed to be posing a risk to the British public. The government had now introduced that as well. They didn't have that before. It's what they call family tougher safeguarding rules. New safeguarding measures have been added to UK immigration law. For now on, from yesterday, it means that family visa application can be automatically refused if there is any safeguarding concern. Case workers must reject an application if they believe a parent or a partner poses a risk to the applicant. So if your wife says, oh, me and my husband, we're having problem, and I think that he poses a risk to me and the children, on that ground, your application can be refused. This means stricter background check, tougher scrutiny for family applying to join and remain in the UK. Also applies to those that are applying for spouse visa. What is your view about this change? And the government has also said that they want to make sure that these changes that they've introduced, it is to make sure that anyone coming to live in the UK must abide by this new rule that they've just introduced. And the government has said these changes kicks in from yesterday. I want to know what your views are. The major changes is that the government has now said that for those who want to work in the UK, you must abide by this. If you're a student planning to come to study in the UK, you must have the money in your bank account for 9 months. If you do not have the money in your bank account, your visa is not going to be granted. And those who have committed crime, the moment you serve more than 12 months in prison, your visa will not be renewed again according to the government. And the safeguarding rules has been introduced. From January, new changes will be introduced from January. The changes that they are going to introduce from January is when the new English language requirement test is going to come into effect. So the 3 changes that the government have introduced today is: number 1, if you're planning to come and study in the UK, you must have over 1,500 and something. If you're planning to study in London, outside London, 1,175, and you have the money in your bank account for 28 days, you must show that you'll be able to take care of yourself. Number 2, they've said if you serve more than 12 months in prison, you will not be able to renew your visa. Number 3, they've introduced safeguarding rule. To be honest with you, the safeguarding rule is still unclear to me. Does that mean if your husband make an allegation that your wife slapped her, that woman is not going to have their visa renewed, or the woman makes an allegation that the man slapped her, they're going to have their visa revoked? It's still unclear. As soon as we get more information on the safeguarding rule, we will let our people know. What is your views about these 3 major changes that the government introduced from yesterday? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Leave your comment in the comment section, because the rules are changing every day. There is nothing like staying informed and following a platform like ours, where we'll continue to provide you the latest update. This is the